Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and boy, are you going to love what I have to share with you in this latest Moon Lambo Hot Jam, because it is a fantastic day for the markets, both the stock market and the crypto market, just broadly speaking. Things have been heating up today. Look at the headline on your screen here from CNBC. Dow closes more than 450 points higher as Powell signals Fed rate cuts are coming. Yes, that's right. Our old buddy, our old pal, Jerome Powell, he's done it yet again. And markets react. And this against the backdrop of all sorts of things coming together in the world of crypto. It's fantastic. I'm going to share with you perspective from a few different chart analysts, including one who says that, and this is a quote, XRP getting ready for a large move, end quote. Now, of course, this coming at a time where the charts, my God, they look so primed. Certainly true of XRP, certainly true of the altcoin market. And then the macro backdrop, if you want to talk about that, is looking good. I'll just tell you this at the outset because I don't want to bury what maybe should be the lead, at least one of the lead things to discuss. The Russell 2000 small cap stocks. It's heading the right direction today. Today was a really big day for the Russell 2000, and if you've been here for more than 5 seconds, you know why that's important. But if you don't worry. I'll get you caught up to speed. But before going further, I just want to be clear: I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. I'll tell you what, I'm like the rest of you. I've been watching the markets like a hawk today. It's just, days like this are fun. And I know that not all of the moves are absolutely gigantic. That's not the point. Like, can you feel it in the air? Can you smell it in the air? It seems like we're on the precipice of something gigantic, and that's what I keep seeing from the chart analysts that I follow. And so the fact that this is happening, not surprising to them. Many of them were predicting these things, broadly speaking, about to occur. Here it looks like they're unfolding. We need to see continuation. Fine. But XRP is at 61 cents, Bitcoin at $64,512. Did I say the time? It's if I'm repeating myself, so sorry. 5:31 p.m. now, Central Time, my time zone. Friday, August 23rd, 2024. Crypto Fear and Greed Index waiting for this bad boy to update. It'll be another nearly hour and a half. So we're still in fear at 34 out of 100. But I have a feeling it's going to be a little higher than that. Maybe we'll get back into neutral, or if there's a gigantic jump, maybe, just maybe, we'll actually be back in greed, but probably at least neutral. That would be a for fun guess. We'll see what happens there. But here's the post from chart analyst Dom at TraderView2. And he shared this last night before some of the greatest developments today, and he said, XRP getting ready for a large move. Consolidation at highest volume area, watching closely for a break. And then what did we get today? Well, more on that in 1 second, but first I want to note that chart analyst Dr. MATIC feeling pretty similar here. He shared this just this morning. XRP breakout on RSI lower time frame and retested. Time for another run, question mark. So he seems to be thinking that this is probably a time for just that. And you can see what he's talking about here if you're looking at the screen. Broke out above this trend line. This is RSI, of course, for XRP. Went back down, tested it, heading on back to the upside. And he's been saying, I think he's the one that's been regularly saying, hey, if you want to know when XRP is going to break, watch for that RSI to be trending to the upside. We're having this happening and at a very interesting moment. And if you understand the degree to which markets move in tandem, and in which you need to have certain things aligned, broadly speaking, not down to the second minute of the day, the week, and so on and so forth necessarily, then you understand why this is all so exciting and why it matters. And so again, you had Jerome Powell, our old buddy, old pal, coming out to save the day. He had his speech today, and he didn't promise anything specific. He didn't say, here's what a rate cut will be and when it's happening. But he said enough that the markets got all hot and bothered. And so there was this post by Scott Melker, the Wolf of All Streets, and I think he did a really good job here putting together 5 of the most important quotes from Jerome Powell this morning. And so he wrote here, Powell goes full dove. And then he has 5 quotes from Jerome Powell. Number 1, the cooling in labor market conditions is unmistakable, end quote. Number 2, it seems unlikely that the labor market will be a source of elevated inflationary pressures anytime soon. Number 3, we do not seek or welcome further cooling in labor market conditions. Number 4, the time has come for policy to adjust. The direction of travel is clear, and the timing and pace of rate cuts will depend on incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. And number 5, we will do everything we can to support a strong labor market as we make further progress towards price stability. There you go. So those are the 5 quotes. That was enough to get the markets jumping. Now, he didn't come right out and say it's going to happen, but I mean, I think probably most of you would agree. He worded that strongly enough that the market's like, okay, we'll take the hint. We will absolutely take the hint here. And so there was this post, and this is just kind of funny. This is a chart shared by Dom. It's just the Bitcoin USD chart. And he notes the price of Bitcoin right when Jerome Powell walked to the podium, just spiked to the upside. And of course, not long after, he shared this shortly after, and then it just went back down. But it's just funny. It's so ridiculous that we have the Feds with this level of control over markets, which I think should be much more free. I don't think that we should have this type of interaction. As far as I'm concerned, it's basically manipulation. In a free market, we shouldn't have investors responding to what Lord Jerome Powell has to say. That's just my humble opinion. But either way, it is what it is. It's kind of funny. People see him walk to the podium, oh, I'm going to buy Bitcoin. And that's what happened. And you see this time and time again. But look at the Russell 2000. Look at this bad boy. It closed up 3.19% today. Now, in the world of crypto, that's like 5 seconds passing, if that type of percentage return, if a crypto is moving. This is huge in legacy finance, though. And the reason this matters is because we have never seen expansion in crypto markets, meaning an alt season, without the Russell 2000 also expanding, prices moving up. And it has absolutely been lagging behind for the vast majority of this year and last year, frankly. It's just been lagging behind. Now, we recently, however many weeks ago, did see jump up here. I'll do a year to date. Here it is. You can see when we got all excited because it moved back up. But then it did go back to the downside about where it started. But it looks like that was just a retest, and it's been trending up ever since then. And then you got this notable break. I mean, if you're talking 3% in a day, again, nothing in crypto, but you know what? The signals, because look, it's the same humans with the same DNA that invest in the stock market and invest in crypto. And they're treating the asset classes in some ways very samey. So if there's an appetite for risk-on investments, which means, what would classify as that, crypto and the stock market both, right? And so if there's an increased appetite in risk, that means instead of just investing in large cap stocks, you go further out the risk curve and you go all the way down to the small caps if there's an appetite for it. This is showing, at least right now, and we do need to see continuation, but this is showing an appetite for exactly that. And when this happens, when this has happened in previous market cycles, alt season coincides, even if not down the second, the minute, the day of the week. If we see a continuation here, that is gold, because we've never seen a crazy run for alts without this happening, and that's why this is that big of a deal today. If you want your XRP to run, you better hope that this happens. And there's good reason to believe that that is what is most likely. Everything is so freaking primed. It's just fantastic. You love to see it, right? There was this post from Dom. This is the Russell 2000 on your screen here. And he said, breakout retest playing exactly as it should. A successful break of 786, and I think we take off across crypto as well. And so, of course, that's an acknowledgement that you don't have alt season without the Russell 2000 breaking also. It's never happened before. But here it's coming. And by the way, there is precedent for the Russell 2000 to lag behind the S&P 500. And I was saying that back in January. That's probably the first time I think I recall myself talking about that for this market cycle. I noticed, like, guys, it lag behind over 10 months. There's that historically, there is precedent for that. It has happened in other market cycles. And so here we are, all this time later, and it looks like it's moving at least. So we need to see continuation, fine. But this is actual expansion. It's got to continue. You'll love to see this. And again, XRP's never been so perfectly primed. It's all coming together. This is a big day. And if you look at the Dow Jones, NASDAQ 100, and S&P 500, all of them were up a little over 1% today. So it really was the Russell 2000 being up over 3%, which stole the show in traditional finance. But of course, Bitcoin, I mean, as I'm recording this, it's up 6.6% over the last 24 hours. And here's a 24-hour chart. It's just fantastic. Everything's responding like it. And so you can sit here and argue about whether or not rate cuts are good. The last few have coincided with bad economic times in terms of market performance, right? But there have also been a number of times historically where there have been rate cuts and it's been perfectly fine. So we don't know for sure. To whatever degree, it's a mixed bag. We don't know for sure. So all I'm saying is it's not a foregone conclusion that this means that everything falls apart at some point after some sort of blow-off top. It could. I'm telling you, literally, I don't know. But if there's a narrative that rate cuts equal 100% chance bad times, that's not true. If anybody's saying that, that's just not, it's literally not true. Now, in terms of what's probable, you guys come to your own conclusions. I don't know for sure. But either way, even if that's what follows, as long as we get the blow off top, I'm going to be a happy camper. I'm just done. Then we got. Oh yeah, I want to share this. This is a post. This is a little thread from the blockchain backer, and I just thought I'd share with you what he had to say here because I appreciate his insights. And he's perhaps the first that started highlighting the importance of the Russell 2000 breaking, because again, it signals an increased appetite for risk, and it's the same humans with the same DNA that purchase stocks and crypto. So if they're feeling more willing to take on more risk in the stock market, it just translates that. It's not surprising if you think about it like this. It translates to crypto as well. People willing to take on more risk in crypto, going further out the risk curve. That's exactly what you want to see. And that's the reason the asset class all moves in tandem. It really is that simple. So anyway, he wrote here about, he's talking about MATIC, which of course is the cryptocurrency Polygon, number 21 in market cap at the moment. And he says, MATIC is a great example of how we were not in expansion back in March during the euphoria. However, like many other signals in the market, we are seeing flashes of what happens when a recovery can happen, like with the altcoin market in 2020, MATIC now, and many altcoins. And I'll pause to note, by the way, this is at 9:26 a.m. So at the time he was posting this, I don't know that we had seen much movement in the Russell 2000, and he does talk about that towards the end of the thread. Now you guys know, you got the benefit of hindsight. You know that at least today, got some good movement, very good movement. Anyway, BCB continues. Let me make this full screen now. He says, like we saw with the altcoin market reaching its 702 retrace, MATIC also did that of its 2-year-long range, just like the altcoin market did in 2020. That bottom for MATIC comes in at the same time as Bitcoin's same structure from that exact time in 2020 when C19 happened and the altcoin market slammed those lows. There are many assets resembling that and different completion structures everywhere. And of course, this has all happened as we near the time zone of Bitcoin's longest recovery in history. The only element missing is an expansion in breadth with broader markets, which has proven to be the final evidence historically. And so pause to note there, absolutely, and he's been talking about this very lately. Everything looks primed. He's absolutely been acknowledging it, but if there's one piece missing, this is it. That expansion, that breadth, right? And then he says, but when we look at this through the lens of Bitcoin, the altcoin market, and individual assets, we seem to be flashing all the right signs in crypto. The bull signs are everywhere. It's hard to be a bear here, which I'm not. But the RTY, which we're talking about, that's the Russell 2000, is the captain of the ship, and we just need this puppy to give us the green light, and then all those signs in crypto become valid. And this is not an endorsement of MATIC. It's just to show more evidence of how March was not expansion. But what we've done now has all the markings of what completions look like, and it was marked with a VIX event, that's a volatility index, just like the altcoin market was back then in 2020. Now, we just wait to see if the Russell approves. And this is where he ended on that the Russell 2000. That's what this chart is. And so we have the benefit of hindsight. We know that today it ran over 3% in a day. That's a big deal for the Russell 2000. You'll love, love, love to see it. Then there is this from chart analyst Blunts. This is a Bitcoin USD chart. And this is just from this afternoon, 3:22 p.m. So, a little over 2 hours ago. We got the breakout, pretty confident this is the all-time high run starting now. Whew. So if that's the case, you can see where he got some squiggles on here, so indicating Bitcoin ultimately in the short term, even September perhaps, above $80,000. But he does believe that what's most probable is that what we're seeing today, this break, this move to the upside, is the one that starts the run to a new all-time high. We'll see, folks. I mean, it's plausible. It's plausible. Everything's so teed up here. It's hard to none of the analysts that I follow disagree with that general premise that everything looks primed. None of the analysts that I follow would disagree with that. Here's a post from chart analyst Mustache, hashtag altcoins. And he's referencing Total 2. Total 2, of course, is the entire crypto asset class minus Bitcoin. So he says Total 2 breaks out to the upside. And that was from this morning, by the way. Obviously, it's continued further since then. But he says, I hope you're as excited as I am because this is a great sign, in my opinion. And in fact, just yesterday, I shared this post from him where he said, hashtag altcoins, I think it's time to send Total 2 back above a $1 trillion market cap. And wouldn't you know it, heading in that direction, right? Oh, this is such a cool time to be in crypto. Oh, this is just fantastic. So who knows? I mean, you could still have pullbacks. You never know for sure. Nothing's guaranteed, but everything's coming together. And whether you think a reduction in the federal funds rate is good or bad, whatever you think about that, the market thinks it's good. If that happens, as you saw here, market respond, yes, positively. That's what matters. It doesn't matter what I think or you think. The market as a whole is like, yep, we want it. Okay. If that's what it takes to get things rolling to this degree, I'm for it. What a time to be in crypto, folks. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.